Hi, this is Paula from Alanda Craft, and in this video I'm going to be making these cute little gift tags. Now they're really quick and easy to make, and we'll be using up some scraps, which is really good. So you can see there's all different styles there, and you can go with whatever you like. So let's get started. I'm going to start with some cardstock, and I've just got a whole heap of scraps here. That's pretty much what I've grabbed, some scraps out of the scrap bin. We've been making a lot of mini albums lately, and we've got a lot of this cardstock left over. So I'll grab a small bit just for the video's sake, but oftentimes I'll actually use a whole piece, and I'll show you what we do in a minute, and that'll make more sense when I do that. But otherwise I'll just go with a small bit. And all I need for this really to start with is just some strips. So I've just picked up some scrap pieces that kind of go together. So pink and grey usually go nicely together. And all I'm going to do really is stick these on here. So you can do this in a multitude of ways. If you wanted, you could put your glue on here and just paste them down. You could use an adhesive if you like, if that makes it easier. But I'm just going to use, I'm just using some art glitter glue here, one of my favourite glues. And basically I'm just going to be, just grab my little scissors, placing these on here. Now you want to try and make sure that you cut these kind of straight, alright? Or not kind of straight, straight. Because what will happen is if you cut them crooked is that you'll start to veer off. So make sure they're straight, top and bottom. And I just add a bit of glue and plonk it on down. Alright, grab my next piece and continue on basically. So I'm just popping the glue on the back and placing it on. Make sure you just butt it up nicely so it lines up nice. You don't want any gaps between them. Okay, so that's my last piece. So now what I do is trim the edges, and I always think that this is the most satisfying thing when you trim off the edges and reveal the front of these things. It's a bit like when we do our quilting. We've got a quilting channel as well, and we trim up the quilts, and they always look so much better once you've trimmed them up. Alright, and there we go. Okay, so that's what you're left with. Now you can get your bone folder and just, you know, press things down a little better so it just sits nice like that. Okay, so that's what we're left with, and you can see I've done a whole heap previously as well, all different sizes, because what I like to do, I like to use them all up in one go. So, and like I said before, you can even fill a full piece like this if you wish, but I just tend to fill up whatever scraps I've got. And then from here what I do is just work out what I want to turn into a tag. So for instance, this one here, I mean potentially that could be a tag on its own. You can have a square tag and it can be as wide or as big as you like, but for me, for this one, I'd probably pop this one into, say, a hole punch. Now this is a Fiskars Mighty hole punch, this one, or a tag punch. So what I want to do is create a tag from this. So I'm just going to pop that into there and just punch, and because there's a few layers on this, it will take a bit of pressing down there, but otherwise out she comes. Oops, see, she hasn't cut properly because there was quite a few layers popped in there. Okay, I had to kind of rip that out there, but I got it. So I'm just going to trim up that bit of the edge here. Like so. Right. And there's my tag there. And what I like also about this punch is I can actually pop that in there and create a hole in the front, and I can also pop an eyelet in it. So I'm going to do that as well. Got my little bag of eyelets, and I just need to pop one on the top there, like that, and press down, and there we go. So that's done, so that's awesome. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, and another just a simple way is to say grab, let's have a look back here, see the one I did, let's have a look at this, and you can just easily turn this one if you don't have a punch. It's quite easy to turn these into tags. You can just trim off the edge, maybe something like that, and then you grab this, you turn it over so it was there, so now we just flip her over to there, and you can draw a line there with a pen or a pencil if you like, just to get the cutting line, but I just leave that on like that and cut along there. Okay, and that forms our tag, and then you can just grab a hole punch of your choice. I've just got the kind of basic one here, does the job nicely, and just pop I'm just going to eyeball it, but you can measure if you wish. Okay, there we go. So we've got 2 tags going at the moment, and again with the rest of these I would cut them up into different shapes. As you saw with the original lot here, we did all sorts of different squares, rectangles, all sorts of different shapes, so you can do that. So I might just work with this one here, and what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put an eyelet in, but you could put an eyelet in. I'm just going to decorate this now, and you can see these are basically decorated all the same way, technically. So all it is a bit of ribbon, lace, sari silk, whatever you like, depending on what it is, and a flower on the top. Really simple. So I'm just going to grab actually before I even do that, I'm going to distress the edges. I'm going to put some distress ink around it, and I've got tea dye here, which is one of my favourites. I'm just going to use a dauber here and just do the edges a bit, because this just gives it a nice finish, I think. It's up to you whether you want to do this or not. You don't have to. Some people don't like doing this, but I personally like it. And what I usually do is just run it across the top a little bit too, just to give the top a little bit of an aged look as well. Okay, I really love these Tim Holtz distress inks. So now we're going to grab some lace, and I think I'm probably going to go with this one here. Okay, and I just need a strip, a little tiny bit that goes across here, something like that. So I'll just trim about there. Now what I use you can use a fabric glue here, I mean whatever will stick the thing, but I don't have any fabric glue on me right now, but I'm just going to use some glossy accents. I find this is good for sticking down bits of metal, anything that's not paper. It tends to do quite a good job. So with a bit of sort of fabric here, I think it'll do nicely. So I'm going to just run some over there and pop that over the top and just hold it down for a second so it has a chance to stick. Okay, and then I'm going to trim off those edges. Now you can wrap the edges around the back if you like, but I just wanted the back fairly clean. Depends what you're going to do. If you're going to be sticking it down into a journal, for instance, it's going to be stuck on the page, by all means you can wrap them around, it doesn't matter. I'll trim these off. Okay, so that's my lace. So now I want to just get a flower on top of this. So where's my flowers? I had them somewhere safe right here. So I've got some flowers here. I love Prima. We buy a lot of Prima flowers, they're lovely. What have I got? So I think I'll go with these ones at the back here. So this one looks cute. Go with that one. It's nice as well. I'll go with that one. Okay. Alrighty. Actually, these are a great way to store these flowers. I'll put a link in the description below to these pouches, and you can just get some of these rings. It's just been so easy just to store them like this. So, okay, so what we want to do is pop this down on here now. So I'm going to grab my glossy accents again and pop this on here. There's a bit of that. pop it there. And I'm just going to hold it for a second just so it sets in there. Okay, nice, alright. Okay, so now we just need two more things to do. I love these Nuvo glitter drops. So I'm just going to pop these on the flowers here, just sort of add something to it. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit on, just little droplets. Like that. Just gives it a bit of sort of sparkle. These ones are the glitter drop version. I mean, if you've used Nuvo drops, you know that there are 1,000 different versions of the stuff. But I really like the glitter ones. Some of them to me come out a bit gluggy and they don't, I don't know, they just don't form things well. Okay, so that's that. And then all we really need to do now is pop in a ribbon. Now I had a piece, okay, here. A piece of ribbon ready to go. So, but you can use whatever you like here. I mean, we've used string. You can see here string. Different things. You can use sari silk. Whatever you've got that looks good with it. And what I'm doing here is just doubling it over. Okay, and then, oops, forming, just getting it like that so I can thread it through the hole. And then bringing those back through the loop here, like that, and then pulling those up like that. And you can leave the grungy edges if you wish. Kind of like a bit more structure, so I'm just going to trim those off a little, like that. Alright. So there you go, all done. Pretty simple. And you could always add other bits and pieces to this if you wish. Make it suit you. Okay, but otherwise that is done. Really quick and simple, as you can see. So thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this tutorial, give us a thumbs up. It really does help our channel, and don't forget to subscribe.